All right.
I might get out some 2K. I don't play 2K like that no more, but I might get out and play. I will do some.
All right. They got a lot of honey buns. Come on, give me out. I don't eat honey buns like that. Sorry about that. Something in my phone just went off by itself. I don't know why. I'm gonna go think that's some cherries at first choice now. Bag of cherries. Huh? I tried to go there. They never got that shit. I need to go get some more food though. But they don't got I could go to first choice. I don't go there. They never had cherries here. Damn man. They never really had cherries. Damn, actually, I probably do need to go get something to eat on. I need to probably go to the grocery store and get some grapes. Ain't no fruit here. I said fruit. I said fruit. 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 Ain't no fruit here. I'm about to go to the grocery store. Go get some grapes. Yeah, go get some grapes. Might as well go get something to eat at that damn first choice. Grab some mud. Hungry, man. What's that? Oh, man.
Alright, y'all, this is officially my return back to streaming after.
Wait, hold on! This video was recently taken in Malaysia on a cell phone, whereas...
Hello, you guys. Well,
Oh no, Fang. And as we head to Fire Magic refinements, and Inferno, Fang will refine into 20 flares. So actually, we only need 50, not 100, we need 50 Ruby Dragons. And that will give us 100 flares for a single party member. But it's not just about raw stats, you can actually refine some cards into items that will then teach blue magics for Quistis' limit break, some nice blue magics as well. So for example, let's go ahead and turn the Gesper into a black hole. We just need one of these. Let's find the Marlborough. Where's Marlborough? I know I've got at least one of them. There we go, I've got 4. Oh no, Fang. And as we head to Fire Magic refinements, and Inferno, Fang will refine into 20 flares. So actually, we only need 50, not 100, we need 50 Ruby Dragons. And that will give us 100 flares for a single party member. But it's not just about raw stats, you can actually refine some cards into items that will then teach blue magic. Ultra Waves, so a whole bunch of blue magics now for Quistis. Again, very, very early on, some of those are really nice and powerful as well. And for
Stop being toxic, bro.
Across the entirety of Bleach, from the Soul Society arc all the way through to the end of the Thousand.
Come on, Amru.
PS5 6. Oh, I see. Oh, fuck, that's it.
The Book of Songs.
PS6.
Sony has had a great run with the PS5, continuing on its promise of delivering a quality next-gen experience and a steady stream.
Kristen's daughter is not the only child who may have experienced something
video?
Yeah, they'd be like, oh,
What's your TikTok?
something like that.
Gotta get that.
5 seconds of time.
It's time.
Yeah. Well, it's been fun.
This is the all-new Menaceforum G1 Pro, packed in a 16-core, 32-thread CPU, along with a desktop RTX GPU. This thing is super small form factor, and so far, it's actually putting down some really great performance. Hey, what's going on, everybody? It's ETA Prime.
This video was recently taken in Malaysia on a cell phone. Whereas UFO footage is blurry and far away, there's no mistaking what this object is supposed to be in this video. Go!
Did you know that Black Clover finally revealed whether Asta will have magic or not in the future? But not in the way you might think. We all know that Asta was born magicless, probably because of his mother's illness. But there are a lot of sense-making theories that Asta's magic was somehow sealed, probably because of his father, since he's a mysterious figure, who could be Astaroth according to some fans. And Asta will one day unlock his sealed magic in the future, probably in the fight against Lucius. But in the recent chapters of the manga, it was revealed that by researching Asta's body, Sally created a special bullet that can disrupt the flow of magic and make the target unable to use their magic for 5 seconds. So it's obvious that Asta's cells reject magic storage to begin with, meaning that he's not going to have magic even in the future. Did you know that Black Clover finally revealed whether Asta will have magic?
For Rising 3.
Well, let's begin. Remember me? So much you never revealed. We've still so much to discuss. Your
Alright guys, welcome back to the channel. Welcome if you're new. Thank you for taking time out of your day to check the video out. We have more PlayStation news, rumors, and leaks to go over. And
We completed Horizon Forbidden West, and we had the best time with Aloy, sport gymnastics champion of the world. We loved the wild story, and the ending
get all weapon lion armor. Yeah. And at the same time,
Smells like fresh produce. Delivered daily. It's an old thing.
You want to come with me?
Yeah.
I need to go get something. I need to go get me a cup of tea. And we need to get more soup.
Grief is a powerful emotion, and coping with that feeling can take a lot of strength and a lot of heart. Kingdom Hearts 4 seeks to touch upon the aspects of death and loss when following the events of Kingdom Hearts 3, Remind, and its connection to the key saga of games, such as Union Cross and Dark Road. A focal point that may already have been revealed to us through a collage of screenshots released in 2025, one of the pictures in particular stand out when accounting for the other screenshots, and that is a single black rotary phone. While it may seem at most a bit inconspicuous, it could be the key in revealing a potential story element that will ache the heart and tackle harsh elements of grief and loss in a way that hasn't been explored in Kingdom Hearts before. Hey guys, it's HMK once again with another Kingdom Hearts 4 theory. While the Kingdom Hearts series is no stranger to dark elements and mature story themes, I feel that Kingdom Hearts 4's supposed focus on death, loss, and grief will tackle some of the more somber, melodramatic elements of tragic storytelling. And this phone could be the key in explaining why. So be sure to like, share, and most important, subscribe to HMK. Let's dive directly into the darkness. When it comes to the focus of this mysterious black phone for this Kingdom Hearts 4 theory, we have to first briefly touch upon Sora's particular predicament. After the climax of the Keyblade War and the ending of Kingdom Hearts 3, the finale of the Dark Seeker saga, Sora has faded from existence, in which he, as described by multiple characters, paid the ultimate price. And when people speak on this type of payment, it usually means one thing: death. With paying the ultimate price being paying with your life. As Sora experienced a form of death by fading from existence before the very eyes of his closest friends, he is now trapped in the world of fiction, unreality, Quadratum, in which, described by Streletsia, who also experienced a form of death during the events of Union Cross, as an afterlife or an afterworld to those like her and Sora, despite the world itself being full of life, its own type of life. Combining the separation with the desperate attempts those back in reality are trying to locate and bring Sora back, their grief and loss after witnessing the one that connected them all getting wiped from existence can all be focused into the concept of the Black Phone. Despite both unreality and reality now exploring technologically advanced items and machinery, isn't it a bit odd that we find ourselves with a simple black Rodu phone? Well, it is because this phone is based on various legends, particularly that of the Kaze no Denwa, or the Wind Phone, among other older folklore. The Kaze no Denwa is an unconnected black Rodu phone that has its roots in Otsuchi Iwate, Japan. It was set up by Itaru Sasaki in 2010 in order to stay connected to his deceased cousin who had recently passed due to cancer. The concept of the phone is to have one-way calls with loved ones who have passed away, in which thoughts that can't travel by cable will reach the deceased by the wind. It is my belief that this black rotary phone could be inspired by the Kaze no Denwa and will explore the concepts of facing mortality, dealing with loss, as well as comfort, reassurance, and acceptance. In the case of Kingdom Hearts 4, the way I picture it is that this phone will be used in a very specific cutscene after the completion of each world. And this goes off another idea that I had, that while Sora will be able to travel to various worlds like before in Kingdom Hearts, story-wise, upon completing a world, he will be forced back to Quadratum, as due to his predicament, he is indeed tethered to unreality. After Sora completes his first world, he returns to the apartment and stares at the black phone. In an attempt to reach out and contact someone, anyone, he desperately picks up the phone and dials numbers, any numbers. While it is ringing, his mind is racing. Then finally, someone picks up. It's Kairi, back in reality, who's able to receive the call on her gummy phone. While Kairi answers and asks who it is, Sora, in tears, responds that it's him, but Kairi cannot hear him. As along with the lore of Kingdom Hearts and the legend of the Kaze no Denwa, his voice cannot reach her. However, something just tells Kairi in her heart that it is Sora on the other side of the call. Accepting this, Kairi pours out her heart to Sora, telling him that everyone back home is okay, and that she's training with Aqua, and they are still looking for him, and that they all miss him, and that she knows he will stay strong. In tears, Sora can only listen, but this will act as a medium of comfort, reassurance, and heartbreak that will solidify the gravity and severity of the situation to not only the player, but to Sora himself. Once the call is over, the players are returned to the game. After completing another world, Sora returns to his apartment. He heads towards the phone once more, hoping this time it may be different in calling Kairi. Sora dials the phone again. As it rings, he hopes that Kairi will be able to hear him this time. Someone picks up, and it isn't Kairi. Rather, this time, it is Aqua. While Aqua still can't hear Sora, Aqua says, "Sora, it's you, isn't it? I know it is." That Kairi told her about the previous call, and that she truly believes that she did speak to Sora. Aqua then speaks from her heart about how grateful she is to Sora for saving her from the realm of darkness, and that Kairi's training is going wonderful, and that it is their turn to save him, and that she will see him soon. The call over, Sora hangs up, once again in tears, but now with even more conviction than he had before the call. After completing yet another world, Sora, accepting the concept of the phone, dials it again and wonders who will pick up. This time, it is Roxas. Roxas lets down his guard and confides in Sora that they've always had a connection. And as thanks to that connection, that he was able to find his way back to existence and to his friends. And that he will do his best to do the same for Sora. That he will help him find his way back home here to all of their friends. Do you see what I'm driving at? I believe that this black phone will be an extremely potent narrative piece that after you complete a world as Sora, Sora will call and hear the thoughts of various characters that miss him back in reality through one-way calls that will help drive home the true situation of Sora's disappearance. Holding true to the concept of Kaze no Denwa, but in a way that will fit into Kingdom Hearts, as Sora would use the phone to have the thoughts of those he left behind reach him in unreality. This will also be a very powerful and emotional way to feature characters in a limited capacity that otherwise wouldn't have a big role in Kingdom Hearts 4 or have a role at all in this particular game. With each call, Sora will find more comfort and acceptance to his situation, while also find conviction in the belief from his friends, while those back in reality will use this to cope with the grief that they felt after the loss of their dearly beloved friend. And like his namesake, Sora will find that the wind in the sky will carry the feelings of his friends to him, just like the wind phone, the Kaze no Denwa.
So you haven't subscribed to HMK yet? Don't piss Xamnus off.
I am the broken white line. If the road ahead is clear, you may overtake carefully. But do not rush. I am the solid white line. Changing lanes across me is prohibited. Stay in your lane and drive straight. That is the safe way. I am the yellow line. Crossing over me to the other side is prohibited. If you want to overtake, do it while staying within your lane. We are the barrier lines. Overtaking across us is strictly prohibited. Life is precious. I am the yellow line found on mountains and sharp turns. Visibility is low here, so I save lives.
I animated this gumball sequence to show you how to merge animation with video footage. Here's a few easy tricks you can learn to recreate this style and make sure nothing goes wrong in your animation. Oops. Where was I? Oh, right.
It's there. The free spin is gotta go.
But people love the daily free spin.
To a casino, not a charity.
New customers deposit and wager $10 for 1,000 free spins on triple cash option over 10 days.
Kingdom Hearts 4 is going to be an insane game for numerous reasons. Of course, being the first game to kick off the Lost Master arc, the game to continue the mysteries left behind from the fallout of Kingdom Hearts 3, Remind, and Melody of Memory, and of course, the game that will expose the secrets of unreality, Quadratum, and those that live within. After the advent of the Keyblade War and Sora's disappearance, there's been quite the commotion among the characters he left behind and their efforts to bring him back that all have had varying results. To that end, and according to Nomura's words, Kingdom Hearts 4 is believed to focus on a very particular group of characters. Those that are well known and those that are yet unknown. This video is all about breaking down those that will be confirmed as well as most likely characters to appear in Kingdom Hearts 4 in a relatively important capacity. Some will hype you, some will disappoint you, and some will surprise you. Hey guys, it's HMK once again. Kingdom Hearts 4 is going to be exciting one way or another, and when it comes to the characters featured within the game, it's going to be a conversation that is quite fresh and new, not unlike when Kingdom Hearts first came out way back when. So be sure to like, share, and most importantly, subscribe to HMK. Let's dive directly into the darkness. Let's begin. We start with the hard confirmed characters. Sora, the main protagonist, the Keyblade's chosen one, the savior of the world, the sacrifice of the war, the victim of Yozora, Quadrome's newest resident. Of course this man will be confirmed for Kingdom Hearts 4. He's the main playable character. Kingdom Hearts 4 will see his life in Quadrome after his fading from existence at the end of Kingdom Hearts 3, sacrificing himself to save Kairi, and presumably after his encounter with Yozora. It's all about Sora. After her brief but important appearance in Kingdom Hearts Union Cross, Strelitzia was one of the huge surprise confirms.
Many of my viewers have come to know and love me.
Estos son los videojuegos AAA que van a dominar los próximos. Hello everyone, today we will take a look at all upcoming God of War games coming in 2027 and
This isn't hell. Oh my world. What is this? This isn't hell. Oh my world. What
Capcom answers our prayers and resurrecting one of their most beloved long-dormant franchises. Onimusha Way of the Sword marks the first mainline entry in the series in 2 decades, and it is using the power of the RE engine to bring its signature samurai horror aesthetic into the modern era. The game moves away from the fixed camera angles of the past, adopting a smooth, tight, over-the-shoulder perspective that makes the brutal close-quarters combat feel incredibly intimate and visceral. You're stepping back into feudal Japan to wage war against the demonic Genma horde, utilizing the iconic Oni gauntlet to absorb the souls of fallen enemies to upgrade your weapons and elemental powers. The combat is heavily built around the legendary Issen mechanic, a high-risk, high-reward parry system that rewards split-second timing with a devastating, screen-shaking instant kill. The visual contrast here is breathtaking, seamlessly blending historical Japanese architecture and folklore with grotesque body horror creature designs that look terrifyingly detailed. It's got deep swordplay, intricate environmental puzzles, and a dark, suffocating atmosphere that proves Capcom hasn't forgotten how to deliver a masterpiece of action horror. Imagine imagine the brutal, unforgiving, one shot and you're dead tactical warfare of hell let loose, but instead of the hedgerows of Normandy, you're dropped straight into the claustrophobic meat grinder of 1960s Southeast Asia. Hell let loose Vietnam takes the series' signature 100-player scale and completely weaponizes the environment. We're talking about asymmetric warfare dialed up to an absolute 11. On one side, you have U.S. forces bringing overwhelming fire support, heavy armor, and devastating napalm strikes that literally reshape the map in real time. On the other side, the Viet Cong forces counter that raw power with high-mobility tunnel networks, invisible booby traps, and perfect camouflage. The developer team is doubling down on psychological tension here in the original games. You could at least see the front line here. The front line is everywhere. You'll be navigating thigh-high swamps and dense bamboo thickets where communication isn't just a recommendation, it's the only way you survive a single minute. Add in a dynamic mud and rain system that actively degrades your weapon's reliability, and a terrifyingly realistic sound design where every snapping twig gives you existential dread. And this is shaping up to be one of the most stressful, immersive hardcore shooters ever made. If you thought clearing a bunker in WW2 was bad, just wait until you have to crawl face first into a pitch black tunnel with nothing but a pistol and a flashlight.
The spirit guide.
Ember Lab absolutely blew everyone away with their debut title, delivering a game that looked like a playable Pixar movie. But for the sequel, Kena, Scars of Cosmora, they are taking a massive, surprisingly dark tonal shift. We are trading the whimsical, earthly forest for a bleak, sweeping sci-fi fantasy epic. Kena is back, but she's older, battle-hardened, and she's no longer just guiding local village spirits. Instead, she's been pulled into the cosmos to heal the shattered remnants of an ancient, spacefaring civilization. The cute little rot are back too, but they've evolved. They are now cosmic, star-dwelling entities that you can manipulate to warp gravity, create localized time-slow fields, and tear through enemy defenses. The combat looks significantly faster and more demanding this time around. Ember Lab is leaning heavily into verticality and cosmic traversal, giving Kena the ability to blink through dimensions mid-combo. What's really striking here is the visual contrast. The developers are masterfully blending their signature gorgeous animation style with eerie, colossal, cosmic horror elements. It looks like a massive step up in mechanical depth, offering complex skill trees and giant multi-stage boss fights that take place across fracturing reality.
I gotta leave my phone. I gotta leave my phone here, y'all.
Honestly, if this game manages to capture the raw emotional weight of the first game while giving us this level of high-stakes cosmic action, we are looking at an absolute masterpiece. Mudfish is bringing us right back to the madhouse with Atomic Heart 2, and it looks twice as unhinged, twice as fast, and significantly more chaotic than the first one. The Soviet Utopia Gone Wrong theme is expanding globally now, pushing far past the borders of
this video.
As soon as we got access to the internet, what was the first thing almost every Dragon Ball fan searched?
There's a certain scene from Dragon Ball Super that I haven't been able to get out of my head for the better part of 2 years. It was shocking, tense, and it reframed how I thought about Dragon Ball Super's future entirely. This scene that consumed my imagination was the birth of Black Frieza. striking in form. It wasn't this dark new facade that gave me pause. It wasn't this incredible newfound strength he could wield with frightening effectiveness, or even the fact he took out both Goku and Vegeta in a single movement. What captured my imagination was everything else. What he said, how he said it, and all the small choices he made narratively. These larger movements. I think you can tell so much about a story and where it's going based on the curious words and choices of key characters. And this Frieza was different somehow. Almost hinting towards something new and exciting on the horizon. Something huge, and then nothing. What followed this earth-shattering moment was little more than an expansion or recap of Dragon Ball Super's latest film, Superhero, leaving me still with the questions I've had all these years. Where did Toriyama intend for this story to go, and could we find any hints in this long series that might offer a glimpse into a possible future for Dragon Ball Super? I think we can. And more than that, it's finally time I satiate my curiosity. Unearth as many hints and clues to a possible future within this long story, and present my official predictions and hopes for a Black Frieza arc.
I've never trained a day in my life. There was never a need. Imagine what could happen if I unlocked my latent potential.
An arch-rival that would appear in 39 years. But the Super Saiyan God was a prophecy Beerus introduced, not the Seer. It was Beerus, who according to Whis, has visions which reliably amount to nothing. So, if not a Super Saiyan God, who else might have emerged after 39 years? Well, the events that kick off Resurrection F occurred just 6 short months following the events of Battle of Gods. In other words, it's entirely possible that this arch-rival Beerus awoke to meet wasn't Goku or some Super Saiyan God, but another great power that would rise up and change the course of Super's story forever. And that power I'm talking about is Frieza. Now, I know what you're thinking, this sounds insane! Goku's achievement of Super Saiyan God is really significant. Isn't Super's version of Frieza pretty much the exact same as he was in Z?
Absolutely fucking not.
If there's any character in Super's history that has changed a staggering amount, it's Frieza. And the greater and more gradual the change of character, the easier it is for us to see where they will ultimately end up. So what can Frieza's story tell us? Frieza, as we see him today, is unrecognizable to that which he once was. And that's not a criticism, that's a compliment. In Z, Frieza was a tyrant with a poisonous god complex. Unwavering in his worldview, he thought himself unstoppable and absolute. This was part of what made him such an interesting foil for the likes of Goku, whose worldview ran totally antithetical to that. During their legendary clash, each of them would try to nudge or move the other from their respective position, either through offers to join forces or chances to fight another day. But neither succeeded, both unwilling to compromise what they were, and in the end, both were forced into a position neither wanted. The message was crystal clear. That was fucking awesome! And yeah, Frieza couldn't change either. Blinded by his own narcissism at the forefront of the android's arc, Frieza's inability to grow from or accept his first ever loss resulted in another unexpected and this time deadly defeat at the hands of one more Super Saiyan. In the end, he was nothing more than an uncompromising psychotic madman, bitter and pathetic. Then Super happened, and everything started to change. Frieza returned, and while still viciously thirsty for vengeance, there was an immediate but quiet acceptance that he was no match for the Saiyans. And so, for the first time ever, he trained. This was gigantic for the character. Prior to this, you could tell even his minions were apprehensive to inform him of Goku and Ko's developments since his death. Simply because the old Frieza would have cut them down where they stood for daring to suggest anyone could ever be superior to him. But this Frieza has learned from his past mistakes and became impossibly strong in just 4 short months. In that time, he managed to bridge the gap between he and the Saiyans to the point that he almost succeeded. But ultimately, it was that lingering vitriolic anger, that fragile and bruised ego from Namek, which remained. and led him to make a severe error. Impatience. Impatience which made him little more than a fatigued sprinter trying to win a marathon. In reality, this fight was over before it even began. Fast forward a bit, and we're once again reintroduced to Frieza for the Tournament of Power. And upon hearing Goku's offer, Frieza further demonstrates adaptation and change. He accepts his current circumstances and his lack of leverage, and instead of succumbing once again to the anger that has defined his character's failures, he accepts Goku's offer to earn his life back. The old Frieza would never have been able to comprehend this offer, let alone leverage it for his own gain. Which is fitting, for that strange and vulnerable scene at the very end asks both us as viewers and indeed Frieza himself to cast our minds back, to consider the final moments of Namek one more time, and for the first time, Frieza sees and understands that moment for what it was. Genuine, honest charity. There is just so much history and natural introspection packed into that short but perfect exchange. An admission from Frieza that he was wrong and that he can genuinely trust Goku's word, and that despite being brought back to life, some of those more poisonous traits which blinded him to reality may have stayed well and truly dead forever. And this holds true for both the anime and the manga. Now, as I said, the Super Anime does conclude at this point, however Toriyama's story most definitely does not. Through 2 films and more than 60 chapters of a long manga, Dragon Ball's and Frieza's story continues and develops. In Broly, that sense of urgency and anger we saw in Resurrection F has been well and truly replaced entirely by patience, strategy, and a new appreciation for the game, as he puts it. He still wishes to usurp Goku and friends, he still wishes for revenge, but he's not going to ruin the challenge by wishing for immortality, and he's not going to throw a tantrum or his life away childishly. He's aware of what must be done. He admits that in a fight, Goku and Vegeta always seem to get the better of him, and so takes that humility one step farther by confessing that he too would like someone to fight alongside with against them. This scene from Broly and all those which preceded it in Super are what foreshadow and grant meaning to the actions and choices Frieza takes during his grand unveiling of Black Frieza. So, with all of that in mind, what can we learn from Chapter 87 with Black Frieza? With one stabbing strike, Frieza brings Gas's tragic and manipulated existence to an end. A lot of people missed this detail, but this attack was the true unveiling of his new deadly black form. And unlike Golden Frieza, where he had no regard for his own stamina, with this he chooses to use it in bursts. In a flash, so to speak. Almost like a retractable set of black claws puncturing his victim before immediately reverting back to his base, leaving everyone, including Vegeta and Goku, utterly dumbfounded, struggling to make sense of what just happened. But even in those more traditional moments, Frieza offers curious quotes like, "Why, there isn't a single thing in this universe I'm not privy to." In an instant, he exposes Elec for the coward and weakling that he is, that he has always known of his true intentions, and despite that leveraged the heaters for his force's benefit anyway. With little effort, in his base form no less, Frieza sees to the erasure of the heater leader in a blinding flash of light, and just like that, the chief enemy thought to be the strongest in the universe, and his master thought to be 2 steps ahead of everyone, were both overpowered and outsmarted in mere moments. And the best part is, he took his time. He achieved this new powerful form, yes, but unlike times past, where his desires to dispose of these two got in the way, he didn't run to these two Saiyans as soon as he achieved this new impressive form. Unique to this exchange, while he takes out both Vegeta and Goku in a single fell swoop, he does so without killing them. In fact, beyond testing out the results of his decade-long training cycle, he doesn't even toy with them like he did Elec. Instead, he relents and decides to just leave. He shows these two Saiyans he once would have given everything to kill by any means necessary mercy, offering them the chance to fight another day. So, now that we know that this is who modern Frieza is, where does his story and Super more broadly indicate we might be headed? Well, as I said in the beginning of this video, answering that question would have been a nightmare had it not been for the often forgotten narrative spoiler that is the Oracle Fish, praise be upon him. First he says a rival worthy of Beerus will appear in Battle of Gods. Great! Then in the Tournament of Power he says both Vegeta and Goku will be his strongest rivals. And then in the Granola arc, this slippery little fella claims the balance is shifting and soon the strongest in the universe will rise up. All very foreboding, but oh so juicy in detail. So, in addition to this story with Frieza, we have this ongoing tale with Beerus and the Saiyans. And thankfully, these two stories are interweaving right this very second. As it stands, it seems Frieza is waiting for the right time to strike, meaning he's waiting for a version of Broly that is both under control and wants to fight with him. But there's just one small hiccup. Broly isn't under control and he doesn't want to fight with Frieza at all. So not ideal. Alright, so how do we connect these dots then? Simple. Dragon Ball Super Superhero has the answer. No, not that one. This one. As it happens, the events of Superhero canonically take place after Black Frieza's unveiling, and thankfully there are, shall we say, some new additions and changes in the manga. Ever since the Resurrection F film, the linchpin of Goku and Vegeta's training under Whis has been less flashy transformation and more efficient movement and thought during a fight. Literally one page following the Black Frieza chapter, Vegeta is seen pensively staring into the sky, worrying about the battles that loom ahead and his recent failures. Jiren, Moro, Gas, and now Frieza? All of these foes have gotten the better of him, and interestingly, in chapter 93 he notes that none of them are physically stronger than he. He says, "Our physical bodies have long since been honed to their limits. In that respect, our training already made us on par with them. The key difference lies in how we wield our power. There's still too much excess." I like this quote because it emphasizes that from henceforth we shouldn't think future powerful foes are superior physically, but rather more efficient and better trained mentally. This actually speaks to the improvement Frieza demonstrated following his recruitment into Universe 7 for the Tournament of Power. He was unable to train physically, but his mind was free to improve. That's honestly kind of cool, and the degree to which that worked for Frieza in that short amount of time highlights his natural aptitude for combat. Furthermore, following Superhero, the number of characters that are capable of standing up to Frieza has grown from just Goku and Vegeta to also include characters like Gohan and Piccolo, which is interesting because these were the main players who stood up to Frieza during the Namek arcs. Minus Krillin, of course, but I guess he landed Android 18, so who's the real winner here, alright? During this material, Broly also seems to gain a greater degree of competence, both through Goku, Vegeta, and eventually Gohan's help. Now able to control his Super Saiyan state without losing his mind, it seems that Broly is well on his way to becoming Frieza's ideal partner in crime. So that takes care of half the problem. How does he figure out where Broly is, and more than that, how does he influence him? Admittedly, this is a reach, I know, but I have one potentially fun theory, and just hear me out.
Is the sky.
I don't...
It has been over.
The UFO passes over a house and then takes off in the distance. A short while later, this other footage was taken.
Boss called my number.
This is an Amazon Returns palette. A setup.
Alright, I'm just gonna chop it up with y'all for a minute.